Hi guys, welcome back to exmolex. Before we even get started, I have to preface this with saying I'm so sorry if you are hearing background noises. I sat down to film this and one of my neighbors decided it's a great time to weed whack. On top of that, my kids are just being really excitable today. They're very into Legos right now, and whenever they are searching for Legos, I feel like they take both hands and they shove them down in the Lego box and like do this, and it makes a really loud, abrasive sound. So I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear it in the background. If you do, I'm sorry about it, but kids will be kids. Today I'm gonna read and respond to some hate comments. It's been a long time since I made a video like this, and honestly, they're just kind of fun to film. Sometimes when I address hate comments, I get people in the comments being like, you don't even have to worry about the haters, like just ignore them, whatever. Like, this is fun for me. I'm actually in a great mood today, and I think this is gonna be fun. But just so you know, I'm gonna be using swear words in this video. If that bothers you, honestly, you just don't have to watch. I'm just not gonna censor myself on this one. Normally on YouTube, I try to avoid using too many swear words because YouTube's algorithm can be kind of funny with that and be like, oh, you said the F word 2 times. I'm not gonna show this video to anybody and you're gonna be demonetized. I don't care this time. We're just going for it. We'll see what happens. So if anybody wonders why I'm making this video, it's because it's fun and I feel like it. You're such a horrible person, girl. Stop making fun of our church. No. Listen, first of all, if the Mormon church has no haters, I'm dead. Second of all, if it makes me a horrible person to poke fun at the religion that I grew up in, that I participated in, that I did cringy things when I was a part of, I guess we're all horrible people, because have you never laughed at yourself? And third, it's funny that they left this comment on this specific video because this was the video where my husband just answered your guys' questions. I don't think we made fun of the church at all. It was mostly just about Brendan. exmolex, you are satanic, and Aston only is happy for your exhibition. You're satanic, and I'm assuming, okay. Satanic and Satan only is happy for your, do you mean exhibition? I don't know what any of that means. Maybe English is this person's second language, but if you're gonna try to insult me, do it properly. I don't believe in Satan, I don't worship Satan, and because one of my most commonly asked questions is why do I wear an upside down cross, this is a logo for the band Ghost. I don't worship Satan. I think I've said in the last 5 years, I don't worship Satan more than any average person will have to say in their entire lifetime. The Ouija board did do something that your spiritual eyes can't see that's keeping you further from the truth. Playing with such things invades our minds and hearts further from God. If you didn't know, my husband and I did a video where we tried to use a Ouija board to summon Satan. It didn't work, nothing happened, and still nothing has happened. I told you I would keep you updated. It's been, I don't know, over a month. Nothing has happened. But I still am getting occasional comments from people saying, something did happen. You are even more evil now. I don't care. LOL. So it's a thing to turn an ex-Mormon and be like, I escaped from their terrorism. I'm so smart. LOL. Just quit intending. That's it. No need to be like, look at me, look at me. I don't know, babe. What are you doing in the comments other than being like, look at me, look at me? It's almost like people are allowed to talk about whatever the fuck they want to talk about. What a concept. Talking about past trauma for me is helpful, helps me process it. And to be honest with you, I'm also not above profiting off of my trauma. So if I can make a TikTok video that I make $5 or $10 from because I talked about my experiences in the Mormon church, I'm happy about that. Joseph Smith's mistakes are old news. We have all learned from them and have moved on. You really should too. It's time to grow again. I understand that Joseph Smith's mistakes are old news for quite a lot of people at this point. But for me, myself, and I, when I first started questioning the Mormon church, I had no idea about all of Joseph Smith's mistakes. He was presented to me during my entire childhood and young adulthood as a martyr, as a prophet, as somebody to look up to, and then you find out he was actually sleeping with minors, lied, had a magical worldview, was doing all kinds of insane behavior that I had never heard about in 25 years of being a member of the church. So if I can help one other person out there learn that Joseph Smith was actually not what he claimed to be, then I'm gonna talk about that. Also, by the way, this part is actually fucking crazy to me. We have all learned from Joseph Smith's mistakes and have moved on. Yeah, the guy that returned the gospel to the earth, the guy that was the prophet of the restoration, the guy that we all look up to was actually sleeping with minors, but we've all moved on from that. I haven't fucking moved on from that. I think it's weird that you have moved on from that. I won't be moving on from that. Next. Buddy, did you know she's also 1 millionth person to say they left the LDS church and then make a lifelong commitment to share false information and dramatize everything? I don't know if I'm the 1 millionth person to do that. That seems like an awful lot of ex-Mormons, and I know there are a lot of us, but there's definitely not that many that are public with it. If there's actually 1 million ex-Mormons, I want to know about that because that's badass. A lifelong commitment? It's been like 5 years. I actually won't make these videos forever. I've talked about that before. This is probably not something that I'm gonna do forever. It's something right now that serves me in my day-to-day life. I enjoy it. I like talking about this. I like doing the research. I like learning about the church. I like learning about cults. I like comparing my experiences in the church to that of other people that have been in other cults. Will I do it forever? No. No. Probably not. I will probably be online forever in some capacity because I really do enjoy making videos. I enjoy sharing things from my life with people, but a lifelong commitment? No. No. Unlike the Wolverine, I won't be doing this until I'm 90. Also, with sharing false information, I get comments like this all the fucking time. And I always ask, can you tell me one thing that I've shared that is false information? And guess fucking what? They never can. They never can pull up a single fucking thing I've said that was false information. Miserable being must seek more miserable being than she is happy. I think I found the miserable being. Fuck you, Larry. Ironically enough, the reasons you listed have nothing to do with the gospel the church teaches, only the imperfect people that are trying to teach the gospel. Oh darn, those imperfect prophets chosen by God who were just accidentally sleeping with minors. That has nothing to do with whether or not the church is true, right? Fuck off. None of the crap was intentional abuse. You don't get to judge anyone for their mistakes. You literally just defended this. Stop hurting yourself. I went back and rewatched the video that they commented that on to see if context would help, and it doesn't at all. So I don't know what any of that means, but it seems rude, so. Feel free to leave for whatever reason you need, but stop trying to convince us how extra Mormon you were when you were in the church. Everybody has their own experience. I've never said that people don't have their own experiences. I'm just sharing mine. If part of my experience in the church was that I was very faithful in the church, I'm gonna include that when I tell the story. Don't be fucking dumb. I love my church. I may not agree with some of their beliefs, but they're not forcing me. If Mormonism is a cult, so is every religion. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Not every religion is a cult and not every cult is a religion. Some religions are cults. Some of them are extremely culty. Some of them are less culty. It's a spectrum. You know what I mean? I've got like the cultiest of cults like Heaven's Gate and the People's Temple, the ones that themselves when it's over. Mormonism certainly isn't on that level. That doesn't mean that it's not a cult though. When people say that Mormonism is not a cult, I always recommend just learning more about cults. Read some books about cults. Watch some documentaries about specific cults. Compare experiences you've had in the Mormon church to other cults, and you will see so many parallels that it's scary. I'll never understand how these people make being ex-Mormon their whole personality. You'll be happier if you move on, I promise. I promise that if you understand the difference between an entire personality, an entire life versus a TikTok niche, your life will be much happier too. Like, do you get on TikTok and see an account that's dedicated to making slime and think that the person running that account has nothing whatsoever else going on in their life other than making fucking slime? I actually have a second TikTok account where I make a lot of like baking videos. Is my whole fucking personality baking? No, don't be stupid. My exmolex YouTube channel and my exmolex TikTok channel are dedicated to talking about Mormonism and cults because that's the niche. That's what the account, that is what the videos on that account are about. That's not what my whole fucking life is. The amount of time that I spend making videos is so tiny compared to the amount of time I have in a day. I will give you this though, I am taking time out of my day to respond to these comments because I do have the time. I have the time and I can. So I will, but don't be fucking stupid. Got several comments recently talking about how drinking coffee or having tattoos is not even against the church anymore and you can do it and it won't keep you out of the temple. Temple recommend interview question number 11 asks if you understand and obey the word of wisdom, which includes not drinking coffee. And I get, don't even say this, don't even say it. I get that some bishops will let you have a temple recommend anyway. I get that. Bishop roulette, all that shit. Not every bishop will let you go to the temple if you're drinking coffee. It has been said over the pulpit and general conference that drinking coffee will keep you out of the temple and therefore out of the celestial kingdom. And if you're drinking coffee and going to the temple and you don't see a problem with it and you're perfectly fine with that, my question to you is, does the knowledge that this unchanging doctrine continuously changes not bother you at all? The fact that God's one true religion on the face of the earth changes according to societal pressures, that doesn't mean anything to you? How do you genuinely believe that your religion is God's one true church on the face of the entire earth if it's just a product of the times? If throughout the last 100 years that church has just gone along with whatever happens to be socially acceptable at the moment. Weird how within the last 20 or 30 years, tattoos have become more and more socially acceptable, and now suddenly that's okay in the church too. Anyway, that's all I have time for today, but thank you guys so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons for supporting the channel. I appreciate you guys so much. Extra special thank you to Amy and Doug Davis for supporting at the Demon tier on my Patreon. If you guys would like to support the channel, there are links to do so in the description below. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!